What up? What up? What up? What up?
What up?
How goes it, Tomboy?
All right, how about you?
Good, good.
Good.
You know what this episode is?
It is 100?
It's 100.
100.
It's number 100 episode. We made it 100.
We did it. And now we're quitting the show. Bye.
Yeah, this is it. And I hope you guys enjoyed it.
Nah, just
So
kidding. 100 more to go.
Yeah. And then some.
And then some. Forever.
Forever. Which means also our 2-year episode's going to be coming up here.
A couple more episodes, yeah.
Yeah. So 104 would be a 2-year, right?
Yeah, that's how it works, I think.
You know what we
2
should?
weeks? Yeah.
We should do something fun. But like YouTube exclusive.
Yeah.
Like we could have like a regular episode, but we should have something fun for...
We'll do something fun.
Okay. All right.
I got something.
Ooh, this
I
gets
got
me
something
excited.
cooking.
Good. This gets me excited. And I'm sure everybody else is going to be excited.
And then we'll tell you when we'll watch it.
Yeah. Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm also really excited for today. We have a groundskeeper,
Oh.
as in someone who keeps the grounds in a cemetery.
That's yeah. Oh, cemetery. Okay, yeah.
Yeah, in a cemetery.
Not a public school in Springfield.
No.
Still a groundskeeper I know.
Yeah,
So,
groundskeeper Willie.
yeah.
I think he was Scottish, wasn't he?
Yeah, if it's not Scottish, it's crap.
Yeah, that's right. Cool. Okay. I mean, unless there's anything else, so we can just kind of dive right
Yeah,
in,
let's
right?
dive into it. Let's get
Okay.
him a call.
Let's fucking do this. I'm stoked. Let's give this guy. Okay, let's give him a call here.
Hello.
Hey!
Kit, how's it going, my man?
Going well. How are you guys?
Good.
That's excellent.
Good. Thanks for coming on the show, man. I'm super excited for today.
Of course, I'm super excited too.
So just to kind of, I guess, prep everybody, scrolling my way downtown through the Reddit world, and I came across Kit, and he was kind of talking about his job, and I found it very interesting and thought, hey, man, you want to come on the show? Let's talk about it. And he was just happy to say yes.
Hell yeah.
So we got him on. So I guess, Kit, I guess to kind of start off, why don't you just kind of explain a little bit and what you do?
Well, my work is graveyard, lawn care, and grave digging. Yeah, it's pretty wild.
Yeah, that was like very fascinating to me when you were kind of explaining a little bit of it. And like, how long have you been doing this for?
This is going on my like 4th or 5th summer that I've been working there.
Okay. Oh, so summer. I guess probably in the winter. Well, I mean, someone's got to do it during the winter, right? Do you not do it in the wintertime?
Yeah, we got a couple guys that work there during the winter, but it's basically just clearing the roadways. And
Too cold.
so
to
they
dig.
just hire me on during the summer to, deal with the main growing season.
Gotcha. So what happens, like, if someone passes, like, during the winter, are the bodies being stored, or are you actually still digging holes?
It really depends on the families, really. We definitely have far less bodies that we're dealing with. Most of the time, they're being stored until the summer months.
Interesting.
But if it's really important towards the family or for religious reasons, then yeah, we break out the backhoe and we start digging.
Yeah.
Yeah, ground's too cold. It's frozen.
I was going to say that's got to suck, yeah, if it's frozen. And also...
Yeah, we spend like about a week doing the dig during the like winter months just because the ground is way too hard.
Damn, I never even thought about that.
Yeah. I heard about it, like a podcast I was to the guy in New England area, and his aunt passed away. They took forever for the funeral because the ground was, too cold, so they had to postpone the funeral till whenever they can actually dig up the grave.
Holy shit, that's wild. Huh. All right,
Yeah,
well,
man.
that's
Yeah.
something fun. So, like, how did you get into doing this?
Okay. Now that is a story. So when I was growing up, my mom got a job at their funeral home, and it was just down the street because she was in between jobs, and they're like, "Hey, we need an admin." And so mom did that for a little bit, and during the winter months, they're like, "Hey, you have a kid. Does he want like an extra like I don't know, 100, $200?" And of course, I said yes.
Mm-hmm.
And they gave me these Christmas cards with an advertisement for the funeral home. And it's like, hey, Merry Christmas. Like, if you ever need us, we're here. And it's like so morbid.
Yeah.
It has to be a
Merry
little bit.
Christmas. If someone dies, give us a call.
When you die.
Yeah.
Exactly. And so I was like going door to door, dropping off these morbid Christmas cards. I mean, they're sweet, but like just the idea of them is so weird.
I'll take that over caroling, though.
That's true.
Some random kids caroling. I'm like, what do you want, money? Get out of here.
And on top of that, there's a lot of junk you get in the mail, like trash. But if I got a Christmas card and I open it up and it was like that's the ad for a funeral home, I'd be like, I'm gonna put this on the mantle just for fun.
Give it away for Christmas.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
But it's a Christmas gift.
Send it off to somebody else.
A card that keeps on giving.
Right. Oh, that's
Yeah.
that's wild.
So, yeah, so then I don't know, like a couple years later, graduate, and I was looking for work in the middle of doing my degree, and they're like, "Hey, we kept your name on record, and we're looking for some more summertime work. Do you want to come back and help us out, do some mowing?" And I'm like, "Well, I definitely need the money to pay off school, so why not?"
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so you basically just started off doing kind of like the mowing, landscaping, and then kind of eventually got your way into like digging holes and stuff, or was this kind of like all of these are included in your job?
It was all within the job
Okay.
description. They definitely started me off easy with just doing weeds, and then they're like, "Okay, we need to start upping your work because there's a lot of stuff to get done." And
Yeah.
so we have like 15 acres to like mow, and I'm basically spending all day every day pushing a lawnmower.
Oh.
I'm getting
You can't do a riding mower. I'm
Yeah,
guessing. It's
because all the headstones. Yeah, that makes sense.
exactly. So I'm
And
hitting about like 30,000 steps a day, which is wild.
yeah, it's got to be super fit then.
By the end of the summer.
Yeah.
At the end of each summer, you're super ripped. Then you can chill out during the winter and gain the weight back on, and then just do it all over again.
Exactly.
Perfect.
And I can imagine, and like the weed whacking and stuff like that. That's probably just very tedious, like around all the headstones and stuff.
Yeah. But like most of our energy is going to mowing just because it takes us an entire week to get through the entire site.
Mm-hmm.
And then
By the time you're done, you have to start all
by the
over.
time it's Monday, exactly. By the time it hits Monday, we have to start all over again.
Yeah.
That's so awful.
Unless it's like raining all the time, right?
Yeah. I mean, I used to like mow lawns and like plow like driveways and stuff like that in like my like late teens, early 20s, and
Yeah.
I mean I get it. You know, we had our weekly route, but even like when you're snow plowing, and if it's snowing all night and you have a route, you know, you start from city A to
Yep.
make your way to city B or D, E, F, and then if it's still kept snowing, you just got to circle all the way back to that first job and do it all over again.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, but you're in a truck, so you're fine.
That's true.
You're not
yeah.
pushing the lawnmower.
Yeah, that sucks, dude. Okay, so all right,
Oh.
taking care of the lawn maintenance, digging the holes. Is there anything else that you guys
Yep.
do that probably people don't really think about?
I mean, like we're cleaning up garbage. We're picking up after teams that sneak in. So we have to deal with alcohol, the occasional used condom, which is disgusting. But and like some drugs as well. But otherwise, it's just pushing a lawnmower. Um, we have to pallbear occasionally if they need us to.
Hmm.
Um, but with the mowing, it's wild because, of course, like you can't just be mowing all summer. We have these like graves that we have to dig,
Right.
so we
In
are
between.
behind schedule all the time.
Hmm. Yeah, because I'm sure there's not like a abundance of people trying to get that job.
Yeah. Unless you got a school debt to pay.
Yeah, and a family hookup.
Yeah. So like, all right. So yeah, let's. All right. When you dig in the holes, what's the whole process of like? I mean, how many people does it
Yeah.
usually take to get a hole done? Like, what equipment are you using?
Um, you like during the summer months, it's easier. Um, we usually dig the hole like the day before, and then do like more of the beautifying it a little bit to make it more tasteful and presentable for the family.
Got to have a nice hole for
Um,
the family.
exactly. Um, so we start out by trying to find the plot. We use a machine that we call an edger, and we just like use the edger to go around. Um, I don't know, about the size of a casket,
Okay.
and that marks out where we're going to start digging. We drive out the backhoe. We make a little roadway using like planks of wood, so then we aren't completely destroying the grass.
Mm-hmm.
Um, we start digging. It depends if we're having like a standard or a double depth. Standard is 6 feet down. Um, Double is 12 feet.
So that's if they
And
want to put like the caskets on top of each other in the same plot.
yeah,
Okay.
so we're talking bunk bed style of bottom bunk,
That,
top bunk,
that's a
and
good
then
way to
you
put
have
Do
it.
you want to be top bunk?
Yeah, I got dibs on top. Okay.
no, no one wants to be bottom bunk. Um, and then you have room for a row of urns as well. So you can get about like I don't know 6 people in one grave.
Holy shit.
Yep.
That's
If you're
wild.
doing errands and stuff, yeah.
Yeah.
So, what's the process if it's like you already there's always already somebody in the ground, then you got to go back in and just dig it all back up and
Hello?
Sorry. Sorry, can you rephrase the question?
basically like all right, say like grandpa's in the ground and then
Yeah.
grandma passes away. What's the process
Yeah.
for that? To like
Okay.
for your double
Um,
decker kind of thing, like you said.
yeah. In that case, yeah, we basically dig down until we get super close to um we have like another box that we place around the casket. So when the casket and body decompose, we don't have an air pocket. We use like a plastic liner so that the ground stays stable
Gotcha.
for far longer.
I was gonna
So
actually
then
ask about
basically,
that. Yeah.
yeah, that's definitely another story for y'all. Um, but yeah, so we'll dig until we hit the liner, and then we leave I don't know, a little bit of dirt on top of that so the family doesn't see that.
Gotcha.
And we prepare like normal after that.
Gotcha. And have you guys ever like accidentally like clipped the other casket or broke it open when you're digging back down?
Yep. Um, so there was a company that owned this plot of land before ours, and they did not keep good track of where they're buried people.
Oh,
Um,
jeez.
so there's definitely been times where we've had to dig a hole like twice because we hit a casket and it smells horrendous.
Oh, I didn't even think about that. The smell's gotta be terrible. And then so then what? You guys are probably like, well, this is fucked, and then just fill it back in, and be like, not our problem. Let's go right next to it.
Basically, yeah. Um, we just we make sure that there isn't a body next to that one, and then we're like, "Hey, office people, we're just digging the hole next to that one because we found another one."
Yeah. So I mean, do you mark that spot as like, hey, there's a body here that was before us?
Exactly. Yeah.
That's fucking wild. And so you said you have when you were talking about the liner, you said that that's for
Yes.
another story. Is that something that's
Yeah. It's not quite a full story, but
the air pockets or
just a
something you're
little
talking about?
PSA for a little PSA to our friends. Don't go walking in cemeteries at night because depending on how old the cemetery is, you have these potholes that can appear, and you can literally like break a leg or worse, like fall into a grave. Um, yeah, that's just because like before companies started using these liners to go around a casket, you have the casket in the body, which obviously eventually decomposes over like
Yeah.
hundreds of years. And eventually, that air pocket, every time that you are walking over it or mowing over it or whatever, a little bit of the dirt of the ceiling in this hole falls to the bottom. So this air pocket eventually makes it to the surface. And you can just be walking along, everything's normal, and then you just hear a pop sound of a balloon, and you can look down and go, oh shit, we have a pop.
Have you ever fallen in?
Oh yeah, like gone one that went up to my knee, and I'm like 6'2", so like
Just barely hit. Yeah.
solid hole.
You'd be fucked, Tony.
Oh yeah, I'm only like 5'7",
Yeah.
so I'd be like halfway in.
Pretty much.
Man, that's wild.
I'm sure you guys have to fuck with a new guy if you get a new guy coming in to mess with them, like get him in the hall and all right, we'll see you later.
Oh man, yeah. In my first week, they didn't tell me about this one guy who like does work in the area.
Okay.
He just eats this entire rotisserie chicken during his lunch breaks,
Jesus.
and then throws it out. Yeah, I know it's insane. Um, and he just throws out the bones in our like trash cans that are like around the edge of our lands, and they're open, so they aren't lidded, so birds can get in.
Yeah.
So in my first week, I would be mowing along, and then I see like a bone that is shaped like a finger, and I just got totally freaked out, thinking that like a bird went into one of these potholes and pulled out a finger bone.
Oh. Did you tell anybody?
Oh yeah, I instantly called up my boss, be like, "Hey, I found a finger bone. What the fuck do I do?"
Did they like come
And
up and then how did you know like they're like they were fucking with you or whatever?
oh yeah, they started messing with me, and like they picked it up and like started like throwing it at me and just like trying to freak me out more.
Yeah.
And then like, just kidding. It's just this weird guy that can like eat through an entire rotisserie chicken.
His superpower is eat a fucking entire rotisserie chicken. That's amazing. Is there anything that you guys do with the new guys? Like you guys, like any fun pranks like that?
Not generally, just because like the site is big enough that you don't really get a lot of time like with each other. It's basically just you and your own thoughts for the most part.
Yeah.
There's four of us on site, but I rarely really see them unless we're doing a dig.
So it's just
But
you
so
out
like,
there with your headphones.
yep. So just me and my headphones. I get about like 400 hours of podcast listening in.
Okay, well, you can start with episode 1 for pizza bagels.
You got 99.
Yeah.
Oh,
And this is
as
episode
soon as you
100.
reached out, as soon as you reached out, I started blasting through your show, which
Oh.
is fantastic.
Hell
by
yeah.
the way.
Sweet. Thanks, man. Appreciate that.
And your theme song is such an earworm. It's great.
Yeah.
Perfect.
We get that a lot, actually, and it's the same thing. Like it gets stuck in my head sometimes.
Oh, yeah.
I get friends that text me and like, dude, I was just singing it in the shower. I'm like, yeah, that's fun. The shout out to Miles. That's
Oh, yeah,
a friend
Miles.
of ours that made that for us. It's a
That's
genius.
great.
Cool. So are you ever having to like deal with like I don't know, like funeral directors or anything like that? Do they ever come in and go, hey, this has to be done a certain way, or this is a special request from the family, anything like that?
Sometimes, I mean, the only problem for our site is like we are connected to a funeral home. So we only have to deal with our own funeral director, which is fine.
Gotcha,
But our
yeah.
funeral director does like to roll over a little bit too much and let the family step over us. So some services are a little bit more annoying than others.
I can imagine.
Yeah, because when we're closing up the site, like sometimes families want to watch us close and like fill in the hole. And like that's fine, but also that means that we go a lot slower because we're trying to be more respectful.
Right.
And it's not like we're like flipping off the grave or whatever. Like we're you know good, but with the backhoe, like at a certain point, we have the grass back on top of the grave, but you still have a bit of a mound where like because of the extra dirt and body in the ground now.
Right.
So we usually take the backhoe and punch the ground back to level with the rest of the grass around it.
Yep. Makes sense.
That doesn't, you can't really do that in a respectful manner.
Yeah.
There's a large difference between like a good punch and a soft little caress of the earth.
Mm-hmm.
It's like
One of those, just wait for the family to leave and then go back and pound it down.
basically, yeah. But another thing about working at a cemetery during the summer is the rain.
Oh yeah, it's like what Tomboy was saying.
It sucks
Yeah.
during the rain.
Because
like,
you have to
knowing,
work, right? Like, it's not like you have a day off of, like, oh, it's raining. Like, you know, I've cut grass today.
Yeah.
Yeah, we work rain or shine.
Mm-hmm.
And when we're digging a grave, it's rough because we get water that goes into the grave that we are digging. And so we have to go in and pump out all of this water that, I don't know, you can get a solid like 5-foot deep pool.
Oh.
That sucks.
And do you guys have like some sort of like I don't know what you want to call it, like a pump, so to speak, like a hose to put in there and pump
Yeah.
the water out?
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
So we suck out all of the water, and we tried to do it before any family arrived for the morning or before the service.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because that'd be weird just trying to lower a body in when there's 5 feet of water.
I already put your foot splash on.
Yeah. That's great. Have you or anybody you work with, anybody ever broken a headstone?
Ooh. I don't think so, but there's definitely been a couple of close calls because companies will leave a headstone at our shop when it's ready to be put at the graveside after it's been like etched into with
Yeah.
the name and picture and whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And then we have to take it from our shop to the actual graveside. But that involves like strapping it to our backhoe and carrying it over.
Hmm.
And so the thing can just be swinging around, and it's the most like stressful thing.
So, uh,
Yeah.
with that, like if there's another family member who passes away, like say it's somebody's name's etched on the gravestone, but it's not the year because they just got it done with like the husband died, but the mom's still there. But do you guys have to dig that headstone back out of the ground and then etch it and then bring it back in,
Great question.
or do you etch it
Yeah,
like on site?
basically we would get work orders to lift the gravestone again,
Okay.
and we bring it back to the shop for a company to pick it up and etch into.
Hmm. And so as you said before, like you guys dig the hole like the day before,
Yep.
the actual burial is happening. Did you guys like ever have to deal with any like kids or whatever, like messing around, jumping in the hole, anything of that sort, playing around in it?
We haven't had any kids like fall in or anything. The only danger is when we know the ground is unstable and like we've had cave-ins before, so we tried to like build up the side of the graves with a bunch of wood.
Mm-hmm. Gotcha. And do you guys like block it off, like the hole off at all, like caution tape or something along those lines?
Yeah, we try to mark it off if like it's a danger to people and be like, hey, we haven't finished filling in the hole, so mind keeping away.
Yeah.
Um,
Well, yeah. I mean, because like I imagine also if someone were to fall in, is that can be considered like a lawsuit? Could someone sue you guys if even though it's their fault? You know what I mean? It's like one of those things where like someone breaks into someone's house, but they like break their leg in there, and then they like sue the homeowners, even though they're in the wrong, and they still win.
um, I mean, that's why we have a bunch of like protection. Like, you have the signs and boards over the grave and all of these markers around it to be like,
Yeah.
hey, don't come near this thing. And if
Yeah.
people do, then it's their own fault for
Yep.
ignoring.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and like for digging the graves, like we need so many people around it because if there is a cave in while someone is like working inside there,
Yeah.
like working inside the grave, we have to make sure that at least one person is watching the head of the person in the grave.
Yeah.
So then like the other guy can like call the cops.
Yep. Man, that'd be fucked.
Yeah, dude, I'll come get you.
Yeah. Have you ever had to do any like night shift stuff?
I've never had to work a graveyard shift, which I'm very happy about. 'Cause
The graveyard
I feel like that'd be
shift.
Pun
quite
intended.
creepy.
See what you did there.
Um, yeah, so I've never had to deal with the night shift. I come in at like 7 in the morning and do a walk around and see what damage teenagers have done, and then I start my day from there.
Okay.
You said you got like a crew of like 4 or 5 of you guys.
Yeah, there's 4 of us during the summers.
Nice.
What about spooky experiences?
Spooky experiences, I am not sure. It's quite peaceful in cemeteries, which I never thought I would end up saying. Um, and like now I've like been able to travel a bit post graduating, and now unfortunately cemeteries are very interesting to me because I know how cemeteries are done here,
Yeah.
and it's wild to go to like Europe, for example, and see how differently the cemeteries are set up.
Oh yeah. So you actually like walk around and like being like, whoa, like I guess I don't know, appreciative of like how other graveyards are done, or are you scoffing at like when they're like, ugh, this is a trashy one?
I definitely scoff at some of them and being like, oh, this one's not upkeep at all, or
Yeah.
oh no, I would hate to work here.
2
For
stars,
this,
not
that, or
recommended.
another reason.
Start your own like graveyard.
Yeah.
What do you call it? Rating system.
So
Oh yeah, exactly.
that's amazing. Like you're like reviews and
Yeah,
stars for cemeteries only.
2 stars. Don't recommend it.
Yeah. Don't bury your family here. They don't even upkeep it.
Unless Aunt Linda was a bitch.
Yeah. And she can go here. What about any like having to deal with anything like biohazard like situation?
The only biohazards are. I do have one story to do with the smell of death. If you guys want to hear that one.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. So this one, for some reason, the office messed up and they sold a grave that was right next to this year-old grave. And so this year-old grave, the dirt hasn't quite settled yet. And the entire week was just super stormy, super rainy, and so the ground is just lush. And so we started digging. And as we dug, the year-old grave dirt like swamped into the grave that we were currently digging, which wasn't too bad of a problem. We were kind of sad that we had to start digging both.
Yeah, that
But
sucks.
then, since it's super dark with the clouds and the rain, our coworker in the backhoe started hitting the liner and the casket. And we had to call a full stop and be like, yo, like, you need to stop.
Oh shit.
Because, like, we obviously don't want to hit the body that's in the casket.
Yeah.
And since we had to stop for a bit, you're now getting water that's draining into the casket and out into the grave.
Yeah.
And so now we're smelling like one of the worst smells I've ever experienced in my entire life.
It's got to be fucking gross.
And-
With like, yeah, it's just bringing everything that's been rotting inside that coffin for who knows how long, and bringing it up to the
Yep.
surface. Ugh.
Exactly. And so we are smelling a year-old body's decomp, and all of the dirt is all wet, and we're having to like move the dirt off site, and so we're having to smell this horrible smell, and the dirt looked like a horrible night at Taco Bell.
I call that Tuesday.
A Taco Tuesday.
Yeah, Taco Tuesdays. Equal biohazard dirt from my butt.
That's Wednesdays.
Yeah, technically that's the day after.
And so
go on.
we finished like digging out both the graves and we're covering everything up. The family member of the like year-old grave that we just hit came up to us and started complaining that we moved their headstone, and we're like, thank God that you weren't here like 5 minutes earlier when we hit the casket.
Yeah.
Yeah, then there would definitely be more pay.
Oh, it wasn't your casket. It was the other. It was some other family's casket.
Yeah, exactly. You're totally not smelling your loved one.
Man.
I'll never forget her perfume.
Or what her insides smell like.
Yeah.
Oh
Do you
man.
guys have like is it a mausoleum? Is that what they call them?
Hmm.
Yeah, on site, or is that just certain graveyards have that, or cemeteries?
Yeah, we do have one mausoleum. It was just from this one like mega rich family before our company took over,
Okay.
and there's like four people in there. We still have the keys to it, which is pretty cool to look inside. There's some stained glass and it's cool, but it it's just kind of there.
There's no upkeep
Most of
for
the
it
stuff.
at this point.
Sorry?
There's no upkeep for it at this point, or is it just kind of as is and just mow around it?
Yeah, you just mow around it. There's no upkeep
Okay.
inside of it.
Nice, nice and easy.
Yeah.
Um,
Go have lunch there.
yeah. You have a little picnic outside the mausoleum.
Or in.
Yeah, or inside, yeah.
Yes.
Has anybody ever asked to like fill it in with the hole with like concrete?
Ooh.
And
No,
I-
but that would be very interesting.
I know I've had jokes with friends about, zombie apocalypse and stuff like that, and like you just fucking bury. I had somebody say that like when like I get buried, tell them to fill the hole in with concrete and then put the dirt on top of that so I can't get out in case I turn into a zombie. And I was like, huh, interesting. Side note
See,
this.
I've never said that, but I have said because I would rather be cremated because that's far cheaper. Fill my body with a bunch of popcorn, so then the poor cremation person will get a nice surprise.
Oh, that's fucking genius.
That is. Something that you might actually have come up with, because otherwise I wouldn't have thought about that. Yeah. My last meal, all popcorn.
Yeah, just put the seeds, shove them down my throat.
Just keep some in my pocket too.
That's fucking
Chug
awesome.
some butter.
I know it's dumb, but yeah, I had a like argument with a coworker. We were debating if like people just take the it's all super nice caskets that are cost I don't know thousands of dollars or whatever it is.
Right.
If they just like dump the body out and reuse the casket
Oh.
and just stack bodies up, but
Interesting.
probably not. I'm guessing it's
I mean, if you're the fucking like the sketchy car salesman guy, so to speak.
recycle.
Yeah, just like, oh yeah, we lowered it in there. The family watches you dig it, like fill in the hole. Then they leave. You dig it the hole back out. Take the body out of the casket. Give it a
Dump
little
it.
rinse. Yeah, throw the body in, bury it.
So when you guys bury it, it is those super nice caskets and everything, right?
Yep, we definitely have some very expensive and nice caskets.
Okay.
Which is fucking wild, dude.
Yeah, you spend all that money and
It
still
is
go on the
wild.
ground.
Yeah, just to be in the ground. Yeah. It's gonna.
I think cremation might be the way to go.
Yeah, I always told my family, because when I was a young kid, I always wanted a Viking funeral, which is basically
Yeah.
like where they used to put the dead bodies on a boat, fill it with gasoline, and then push it out
kindle
into the
it-
water.
kindle it, yeah.
Yeah, and then they'd light the arrows and then fucking
You gotta find
shoot
somebody who's
it.
good at archery, though.
Right, and like shoot it into the fucking boat so the whole thing catches fire. I'm like, dude, that is sick as fuck.
Yeah.
And obviously
So
we can't do this here because, well, Lake Erie's
Cuyahoga
Flammable.
River.
so I'm sure that's illegal. So my folks, they have a pond in the back. So I was like, just cremate me, leave me in like the little box.
Yeah, I'll have a cleanup job, though.
And then I'm like, it just, like those like little wooden boats, like when you get like sushi, like the
Yeah.
big giant boats. I'm like, just put it on there. And then you could fucking, and then you guys all get drunk and try to shoot flaming arrows at my fucking little boat. And it'd be in the pond, so it won't be illegal. And they're in the country, so no one probably really gives a shit about flaming arrows, I guess.
That is fantastic.
Is there, so you said also earlier that you like, you'd find like condoms, drugs, beer, booze bottles, anything weird that you actually found?
Oh, weirder than that.
Dildos, I don't know. I'm just trying to think of random things that you might find people are leaving behind. I don't know.
No, like the weirdest stuff was really just the used condoms, and we've come across a few bottles of like full bottles of vodka, and like couple of cans of beer. If like the vodka bottles that are left there at a grave, like we leave it for like the day, but at the end of the day, we don't want to give it to the teenagers. So we take it back to the shop, and if it's unopened, hey, more for us.
After hour drinks.
Yeah. That's fucking awesome.
Lost and found? Yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
I was gonna ask too, because I'm like I've seen in like movies and stuff, they'll like a bottle of whiskey or whatever, and leave it on the grave. Didn't really think about that. Like leave it for the day, take it back in.
Now, when you guys have to, like, say when you're mowing and all that, like, you know how families leave flowers and all sorts of stuff. Do you have to pick that stuff up and then mow around it and then put it back as is?
Yep. And we have to be careful of making sure that we get it back exactly the same order, because then the families like to complain.
Do you take a
And
picture
then
of
we
it
get
before you,
it from our
move
boss.
everything?
So yeah, we'd have to pick everything up, mow where the flowers were, and then put the flowers back.
Yeah, like I said, like take a picture of it.
Yeah, sorry, I missed that. Yeah, we usually take a picture,
Okay.
or if I'm being lazy and just want to keep on mowing, then I try my best to just mow around it and call it good.
What about like when they're like the flowers are like completely like dead, withering away? If no one's come to like replace them, do you just leave them there until whatever happens, or do you eventually just like pick them up and toss them?
It kind of depends. If it's a new grave, then we tend to leave it so then the family can do that, because we don't want the family to think,
Right.
oh, like they just instantly picked it up. Like, no, we usually try to leave those. If they're at a grave that we know the family member only kind of comes once or twice a month or every year, those ones we either throw out ourselves or just mow over the flowers. If they're real, like they just will decompose into the grass with everything else.
Do you hate when they people put fake flowers in?
We do allow fake flowers during like the winter months,
Okay.
and during these summer months, yeah, we get rid of them pretty quick. We
Fair enough.
leave them down at the shop for family members to pick back up. But yes, it's
Okay.
very annoying when family members leave fake flowers.
Say you could bundle them and resell them.
Yeah.
Here, get flowers here.
Yeah, they
Here's
have
for $10, you can get it.
yeah. They have like a little fake flower shop inside like
Exactly.
the funeral home.
Make a few extra bucks on.
That'd be so good. That's smart.
You can take that one.
Reusing
That's
the
all yours.
coffins, reusing the fake flowers,
Reduce, recycle.
sketch funeral home.
Exactly. Is there any like famous families in that in the one you work at? Or like, I
Sorry,
guess,
say again?
is there any like famous families or like local celebrities or anything like that? Not
We know that there's a few celebrities
okay.
like on site, but we aren't told where. I have guesses because usually those are the sites that we like pay a little bit more attention to.
Mm-hmm.
But like we aren't told because we don't want like fans to swarm to the graveside and like make us stop working or cause a ruckus for any funerals that we have going on. So they keep it pretty low key.
I know there's like certain ones like the Hollywood cemetery that, you know, all the famous celebrities are there or whatever that have to pay attention to.
Right. I mean, there's also some places like my girlfriend and I, we like there's some places like when we go out of state or whatever and walk around a cemetery, someone's like, "Oh, this is the home of so and so." That was like a famous like author or somebody famous along those lines. You're like, "Oh, we can go check out their gravesite." You know what I mean?
Yeah, we definitely don't have any like top tier celebrities for people that like, oh, like I don't know, like C.S. Lewis. Like I don't know if people actually know where his grave is, but we don't have higher tier people where graves are known. I
Gotcha.
just know that there's certain places in the graveside that we pay a little bit more attention to, and I don't know, all of the headstones look the same, so I don't really notice if like a name sticks out.
Is there any like have you ever seen like any that had like something like funny written on a tombstone?
Unfortunately, nothing super funny because it's quite expensive to get a special inscription on it.
Got it.
Um, I've seen a lot more just like meaningful ones. Probably the one that like sticks out to me less so sweet, but just kind of makes you think is like this like the inscription is died with many regrets. And I'm like, it's either a family member who's saying that over this person, or the person put it in their will
Yeah.
to put it on the graveside. And I'm like, that is depressing, but also like, what's the story?
Yeah.
Dude, he still owes me $20. No, I saw a comedian do one. I think it was either obviously Photoshop, but it said, "I just died in your arms tonight." Must have
Hell
been something
yeah.
you said.
Yeah, dude, that's awesome.
That's true.
I said I was gonna steal that one. Gotcha.
So actually, speaking of $20, do you ever have any like family members like tip you guys when it comes to like digging up the holes and like
Like, thank you
burying
for your
them?
service.
Yeah.
That's another thing that any gravedigger will really appreciate is the tips. When it happens, it's a good day because it happens so rarely, and especially on days where it's like super hot out or super rainy. Like that, like $10 to $20 just makes our day so much better, and we're like, okay, we'll actually like try harder, and
Yeah.
like those graves I do pay more attention to, and I'm thankful for the family because I'm like, hey, you looked out for me, thank you.
Yeah, and like what
Um,
a horrible day for their family, but
Yeah.
it's still looking out for you.
Well, there you go, people. Make sure you note
Exactly.
that.
Tip your
Tip-
bartenders and your
Your groundskeepers.
groundskeepers.
but like I do get paid well. Like I'm making, I'm only a summer intern kind of job, so I'm making 20, 21. But like my workers who work full time, they are making just under $30. So like it's more so the emotional joy of, hey, I just got an extra 20 for like, I don't know, I can treat myself.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But we aren't like hurting for cash.
Yeah,
No,
but at least
but it's
covers
like,
your
hey,
lunch.
yeah, we got pizza today.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah. That'd be a hell of a call for
Yeah.
delivery.
So you said that you guys have never broken any headstones, but is there anything like I guess policy wise, or if your boss is mentioned, like if like what's the process if a headstone does get broken?
I mean, it depends on the break. If it's like, oh, the headstone is been there for years, and you just kind of scraped it a little bit, and a chunk fell off, then it's fine. We just leave it.
Yeah.
There's there is some headstones on our site that is like broken in half, and then we like glue it back together, and we do that like almost every year because it eventually breaks. But if it's like our fault for breaking,
Yeah.
generally it'll be like the office job to like request for a new like headstone to be made.
That you guys would probably have to
We
eat the
wouldn't-
cost on.
I don't know if we'd have to eat the cost on. We definitely have to pay like partially to full, but it hasn't happened in my time. Because those things are like pretty durable, so you'd have to be trying pretty hard to break it.
Yeah.
Do you guys have more of the ones that are in the ground? Like, I guess the flat ones that are like on the ground versus the traditional, I guess, headstone. I don't know how
Like
to describe
sticking
it.
out?
Yeah, the
Yeah,
ones
yeah.
that stick out like you would like
We Yeah, we don't have as many like the stereotypical like
tombstone.
straight and then round top and then straight sticking out. We only have like one or two for like veterans.
Okay,
Um, but usually they're more so much like more of a rectangle that sticks out of the ground. Um, we don't have as many that are actually in the ground.
okay.
Usually the in the ground. Sorry.
I was just thinking if you're mowing, like you can mow kind of over it if it's in the ground, you know.
Yeah.
But I was
Yeah.
worried about like if something like a rock or something kicks in your mower and shoots out somewhere, if that would like
Oh, yeah.
damage something. Not saying it would, but you know.
Yeah. We definitely have to watch out for rocks. Um, Fortunately, we try to keep the site fairly clear from rocks.
Mhm.
The only times that like rocks get on site is if like a seagull or some other bird like brings it on to crack open a clam or something.
Gotcha.
But generally, it's a lot more sticks. Um, and for things flying out, we have to deal with more like dog poop and whatnot. We try to keep people off.
I didn't think about that.
Yeah.
Yeah, when we hit dog poop, it shit hits the fan. Um,
Do you have any other wildlife in the area, like deer or anything?
Sorry, I missed that.
Sorry. Do you have any like other wildlife, like deer or I guess raccoons or anything like that that would leave, you know, shit behind? I guess.
Mhm.
We get a lot of geese
Oh
and
man, geese
a
shit's the
couple
worst.
of coyotes as well.
Yeah.
How
Because
big
we're
are?
kind like we're in the middle of the city, but we're also the most like green area in the city area.
Gotcha.
So coyotes and other animals do tend to show up, and we just have to chase them away with like clanging shovels and whatever together and try to scare them off site.
Understandable. I mean,
Yeah.
most of them are going to be more scared of you than they are,
Yeah,
you know.
especially in the city.
Yeah.
In the city.
Exactly.
In the city. Um. Okay. I forgot. I was just gonna ask something. I just lost my train of thought. I was making jokes and I ruined it for myself. Okay. Well, I got a couple fun questions here.
Shoot.
So let's say zombie apocalypse happens, right? But it starts in your cemetery.
Hmm.
What's the first tool that you're gonna grab to defend yourself?
Flamethrower.
You guys have flamethrowers?
Yeah, man, we do.
Sick.
You should have loved with that.
Well, it's just because you have so much snow that just collects everywhere.
Oh.
So we have a thrower to be able to take care of the roads and tops of graves more easily and soften
Perfectly
up the ground
understandable.
some more.
Dude, that's sick.
Did you ever take it home with you and like just to do your driveway?
I wish. No, I haven't.
Damn.
But even though like zombies would be coming from my graveside, I feel like I'm more likely to actually go to my cemetery because I know that they have giant I don't know what they're actually called, but like gas canisters so that we can like keep on mowing. Jerry cans. So we
Yeah.
have like
Yeah,
giant
yeah,
jerry cans. And so I could just scream over to the cemetery, grab those giant jerry cans, and use them for my own advantage.
Damn. Flamethrower. That's
Yeah.
sick.
I never. You could have given me all the guesses in the world. I would never have guessed flamethrower.
Yeah, I didn't think that. I mean, that makes sense to
I'm
use
saying
that.
backhoe and just start rolling
Right,
them
just
over.
mowing them down. Yeah, I'm like, oh, what else do you have? Like hedge
Yes.
clippers or whatever. Like,
Because
what
you're
do you
high
have?
up off the ground, you know.
Yeah. That's a good one too, because you can also get your way out of there too.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I was thinking like
Exactly.
you just happen to be mowing, right, and all of a sudden zombies start popping up behind you. You're like, oh fuck! You're like, all right, gotta run, grab the flamethrower, or back out.
Or
I mean, if they're coming out of the ground, then I would just turn around with my mower and just start mowing over them, and that's
literally
when they
mowing them
run.
down.
Oh yeah. So, have you ever seen the movie Dead Alive?
I've not.
Okay, it's an '80s movie. It's actually Peter Jackson's first movie
Nice.
before he started doing like
Oh,
Lord of the Rings and like
Yeah.
King Kong and all that. It's but it's a zombie flick, and one of the coolest fucking scenes is at the end. The guy takes like the body of a lawnmower. He takes like the whatever you want, like the handle off, and he ties rope around it, and he starts it, and he's literally walking through this house using pushing it out from his body and just fucking using this blade to fucking kill all these zombies.
Wild.
Yeah. Check it out if you're into like zombie flicks. It's called Dead Alive. But yeah, I mean, especially if they are coming out of the ground, that's fucking also genius.
Yeah. Oh, you get back here.
Yeah. Okay, so what about this? You won the lottery, but you're not allowed to quit your job. What would be a really fun like upgrade that you would add to the cemetery?
Ooh, I would totally waste money on getting some of those like electric mowers that don't need to be pushed. They're all electric and they're
Woogie
like
woogie woogie.
a size of a Roomba, and they're like, I don't know, $1,000-something. They're made for your front lawn, but I'd be super curious if they can pull off a cemetery.
Do they have like mowers that are like Roombas?
Yes.
I was like, that would be sick.
That's what he's talking about.
Is that what you're talking about?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh,
exactly.
okay. Oh, okay. Yeah, that would be fucking dope. See,
Um,
go on.
no, I was just gonna say, like, we have certain sections in our cemetery that like don't have any headstones yet that I know that we're gonna eventually upgrade to into more sections. But like right now it's just open grass. So it'd be great to have some of these smaller mowers just going at it so
Yeah.
that we can focus all of our time and energy on another part of the cemetery.
I mean, that seems more efficient. I was thinking more lines of like opening like an ice cream stand or something like that.
Or just
Sorry.
replace all the grass with turf and that. You know?
Oh, yeah.
Well, you'd be out of a job then, I guess.
Oh, yeah. Well, you still have to dig a hole,
Yeah.
but yeah, with turf, you don't have to worry about the maintenance.
That's much mowing. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's true.
Yeah, it's just like, like, hey, sorry, your grandma died. Here's a snow cone, or here's a swirl ice cream cone.
I heard the ice cream man ended up in a cemetery.
Yeah. What about you, Tomboy?
One of
Oh, I don't know.
What would you add if you won the lottery? You have a fuck off money, but you can't. You work at a cemetery and you can't quit. What's something fun that you'd upgrade
Yeah, I don't know. What about you?
with? The ice cream
Oh,
shop.
yes,
Yeah.
I guess.
It's hot during the summer. You're sad.
Yeah.
Once you're eating an ice cream cone, you're not sad anymore, and it's cool and refreshing.
Maybe a bar.
Okay.
For the adults.
Yeah, not a bad idea.
Everyone wants to do a shot afterwards. Like,
Yeah.
Here's the grandma.
They always bring flasks. Yeah.
Yeah.
Damn. We need to open up our own cemetery.
One of the things. Sorry. One of the things that our cemetery did think about is having like summer night horror movie nights.
Love it.
where-
Oh, you just set up a
Love it.
projector? Yeah.
Uh-huh. set up like a projector outside, and you can have like the smoke machines going through the headstones,
That's
and you can
sick.
watch like the biggest flicks
I,
on the big screen.
I would fuck with people so bad, like you and your coworkers, like have like a little bit of a grave dug, not fully, but like so you guys could pop out of it,
Yeah.
just to fuck with people and scare
Oh,
people.
100%.
Yeah, that's fucking awesome. People dress up as like zombies or like Jason, and
Just
then
have it like
just
drop for like
Uh-huh.
like a foot deep, and then just pop out of the grave, like just pop out like a zombie and scare
yeah.
people.
That's fucking great. And they all like fucking like snap like a stick, and everyone like turns like, what is that? And there's just someone dressed as Jason
There's
standing
a guy
there
with-
looking at him.
And there's a guy in the
Yeah.
corner with a flamethrower.
Yeah. Here comes Kit with the flamethrower.
Dude, you gotta go back to Horror Nights.
Yeah. Tomboy, let's open up our own cemetery.
Just to have Horror Nights?
Well, Horror Nights, we'll
An
have a
ice cream?
bar and an ice cream shop.
Yes.
Yeah. The Pizza Bagels Cemetery.
Yeah, dude. If I ever get rich and have fuck off money, I'm getting a cemetery.
Subscribe to our podcast or end up here.
Yeah. That's
Oh,
fucking yeah, that's great. What about jokes? You guys tell me like graveyard jokes?
Um, there was one that came out of the Reddit post that totally caught me off guard, which was fantastic.
Go on.
Why is there a fence around a graveyard?
See, if it wasn't a joke, I would assume to keep out like the children and stuff. Why is there a
Oh, they
fence
bring
around
their
the
own condoms in, so you're fine.
Yeah, well, I'm trying to think. Well, this is a joke, so
Yeah. Why is there?
I don't know why.
Because people are dying to get in.
Oh, that's good.
That's a good one.
That's pretty good. Is there any like crazy or like wild story, something that sticks out to you that you love to like tell people about?
That Your Old Grave one is good. There, we've done like a great gang funeral before. And then the only other story that I can think of was we were digging for ash internment, and we came across somebody else's bag of ashes, and there's a bit more of a story to that. So let me know if you guys want to listen to either or both.
Well, I mean, we're getting close to like being done, so I mean,
Okay.
if you you tell us which one you think's like the better one.
I don't know about better, but I'll do the ashes because
Okay.
there's more of a story to that. So like I said, we're digging for this ash internment, and we come across this bag of ashes, and we go, "Oh shit!" And this is like, I don't know, like 15 minutes before family starts showing up. And so my coworker and I went like, "What do we do?" So we just pretended like it wasn't there. We put it into the barrel that we into the wheelbarrow that we had with all of the dirt that we're going to refill the hole with. And service starts, went fine, nobody noticed. And then one of the family members was like, "Hey, I want to do like the first scoop to go over the urn." And usually we have like a bowl of sand for people to sprinkle over. Sweet, it works, whatever. And like we warned the funeral director, like don't let them. And if you have to, let us choose which dirt you're digging out of the wheelbarrow.
So real quick before you get any further, what is this process? I don't know what this is. Like, what's this for?
So
Sprinkling the dirt?
so
Yeah, well, you said ashes. Is like, what's this process? And she said, so they putting the ashes into an urn?
So the ashes are already in an urn usually. And what we're digging is basically a tiny hole to put an urn into the ground, and then covering up the hole with dirt,
Gotcha.
and then you'll get like another like mini headstone, basically, which is more like a sheet of metal with the name of the person and the dates.
Gotcha. Okay. All right.
Um,
Sorry, you can.
but as we were, you're good. But as we're digging, we didn't come across an urn. We just came across literally just a bag of ashes.
Whoa.
Don't know why. It was probably just one of those like bodies that weren't well documented before our time.
Did the family see that?
No, so this was like 15 minutes before the service would start, and the families haven't arrived yet. Because usually, like ash graves, they're like super quick to dig because you're just
Small
two people
hole.
with a shovel,
Yeah.
tiny hole, super quick. And most of our energy is going to mowing. So, anyways, so this family member wanted to do the first gathering of dirt over their loved one's urn, which we usually have like a little thing of sand for them to do that, but they actually wanted to do the proper scoop of dirt. And we hid this bag of ashes with the dirt that was taken out of the hole,
Oh.
and we put the ashes and the dirt in a wheelbarrow. And so this family member didn't ask for permission, just kind of went for it. We couldn't exactly step in because that's even more awkward.
Yeah.
They just barely scraped by the bag of ashes. Like a bit of the plastic is poking out of the dirt from where they did their scoop. And then we like looked at the funeral director and went like, don't let them like take another scoop.
Yeah.
And yeah, so that family member got a roommate because we had to put the bag of ashes back in the ground.
Bunkmates.
Sure.
Exactly.
Oh, that could have been real awkward.
Very.
Cool. Well, yeah, I think we're about at time here. Thanks so much for coming on, man. This was super interesting.
Yeah, man. Thanks for inviting me. It was a good time.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
After all of these years of listening to podcasts, I've enjoyed getting to be in one.
You finally
Yeah,
get to be. Yeah. Yeah. It's kind of cool to like it's fun for like the other listeners to kind of see or hear things like this that people. It's like a job that people don't really
Think about.
Yeah. And then it's like,
Mhm.
oh, yeah, I guess somebody does have to like mow the lawn and like
Mhm.
upkeep around the tombstones and stuff like that. So it's fun. It's
Mhm.
interesting. So yeah, man, we had a blast.
Thanks. Me too.
Cool.
Awesome,
I'll enjoy listening to more of y'all's podcasts.
Hell yeah,
man.
it's all your friends.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Cool.
Sweet,
Well, yeah, man.
See you later.
We'll be in touch soon. Thanks again.
Okay. Bye.
Bye bye.
Bye-bye. That was sweet.
Yeah, that was
Yeah.
cool. That was a lot of fun.
Oh, yeah. There's a lot of questions. Like, I didn't think about a lot of them before.
Yeah.
And as we were going, I'm like, oh, okay, yeah.
Yeah. And it's something that's like, yeah, I didn't really think about that before.
Kind of enjoy those kind of ones. So it's like,
Yeah.
oh, off the wall. It's like,
Yeah.
oh, okay.
It's the Reddit could be a blessing and a curse.
Yes. We've heard both of them.
Yeah. Well, our record is much better now.
Yeah, we've got way better with ours.
Yeah.
A few hit by the wayside, but fuck them.
Yeah. Fuck Mike.
Still fuck Mike.
Yeah.
100 episodes later, fuck Mike.
Well, thanks for listening, guys. I hope you had as much fun as we did.
I hope you celebrate our 100th episode. Like
Yeah.
we did.
If you're listening right now and you're somewhere where you can do a shot, take that shot. And then take a photo of you doing that shot. Text it into us and say, happy 100th, boys.
Yeah.
440-363.
0121.
Nice. You know where to find us on all the social medias. And
If you want to give a shout out,
Yeah.
we got one not that long ago. I know we did this beginning episode, but we got had to get going with the interview. But we got a shout out
yeah, we did.
from the bagel.
Yep, from the bagel. He found somebody on Cameo. I've been seeing this kid like around on like TikTok and stuff.
Okay.
He goes by the Florida Jahit. I'm not sure
Florida
if I'm.
G. I mean, we have to call Johnny and
Yeah,
get a
I'm not sure if I'm
translation.
pronouncing
He
that
probably
correctly.
knows him.
Yeah. But yeah, he found this guy on Cameo and had him give a little shout out. So I'm gonna play that right now.
If you're in Cleveland, Ohio, you like Italians, and you like Jewish people,
Yeah,
well, listen to Pizza Bagels.
and that's it.
If you want to buy a cameo for us,
Yeah.
you can.
Yeah.
Send it in.
Absolutely. This guy only cost $1, so
Yeah.
see if you can top the bagels and you know, see if it's
Look at
something.
Paul Rudd. We can't tell if it's from 1986 or from 2024.
Yeah. Yeah, so send us a picture of that shot, buy a Cameo, send
Do
it
whatever
to
you
us.
want and send it to
Yeah.
us.
440-363.
0121.
Nice. Yeah, all the social medias, pizzabagelspod@gmail.com,
Yep.
etc., blah, blah, blah. That's it.
That's it.
Cool. Thanks for listening, guys.
Happy 100.
We'll see you next time. Yeah.
Bye bye.
Happy 100th, Tomboy.
See ya.
Bye-bye.